Hi guys!
Hi!
Did you all have a listen to our recent song K Sarah Sarah? If you haven't and don't know the song, go check it out. Today, we want you to think about the expression used in the song and have your version of it. So in the song, we had, will I be pretty? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Or you could think about it in a different way. You could think about what job or occupation you might want to have in the future, or what kind of personality you want to have. Here are some examples. Will I be a teacher? Or will I be kind? We want you to try and think of your example of what will I be in the future. Why don't we give our example? We both were interested in having self-sufficient lifestyle. And so we could give those examples today. And so if we were to put that into a sentence, will I be blank? We could change slightly and say, will we live a self-sufficient life? Or will we have a self-sufficient lifestyle? So we could put it either way. Let's start with why we want to live a self-sufficient life. Well, I mean, it's so easy to buy things, food at the mart or like other shops. But I didn't want my life to be too reliant on buying from those shops. I wanted to make my own food if that was possible. So that's why I started baking. With baking, I tried out, pound cakes, some almond cakes, as well as just normal, whole wheat bread. And how did that go for you? Was it easy from the start? Well, I would say it wasn't that difficult, but it was a little bothersome because it requires so many different ingredients. Okay. And that's why I have looked into simple recipes, which only require like 2 to 3 ingredients. So that way it was less bothersome and easier to follow the recipes. So I think it's important to make it achievable for you to actually put into action. Yeah, and just a recent story I have. I used to bake with yeast, but whenever I buy, let's say 6 grams of yeast, I would use, let's say 3 grams, and then I would leave the leftover for a long while, and then the yeast would die because I would not store it properly. Then I need to look for recipes that don't require yeast. I searched into those recipes and I was able to bake without it. You learn to find ingredients to replace yeast. Yeah, so that was a little interesting for me and a little bit of a learning point. Okay, that's great. Okay, let's talk about your example. Okay, for me to live a self-sufficient life, I wanted to try planting. Oh, why did you want to try that? Because in our daily life, we eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, so I was really curious to know how they grow. Okay, so what have you tried so far? I've tried cherry tomatoes and lettuce. Okay, and did they, go well? Were they all successful? Not with the cherry tomatoes. I was able to grow the flowers, but then it died after that. And I found out that the reason was I had to keep it outside for it to pollinate and fertilize and bear fruit. But I was keeping it inside, so I think that was the problem. Okay, so that's a little bit of a sad story, but you still learned why it did not. Yeah, it was fun to know. Okay, what about the other one, lettuce? How did that go? Yeah, lettuce was relatively easy because it doesn't have to bear fruits. It's just a vegetable plant. It turned out very successful, and it grew well, and I was able to eat them. So we want you to think about your version of will I be how do you picture yourself in the future? How do you want to be in the future? How do you want to live your life? What do you want to be? And why? And lastly, what can you do now to achieve that? So these 3 things, think about it, and we'll be back again next time. Until then, bye!